right, friends, we're starting out in a child's, and I like to start here because it helps open up the tops of the thighs, okay, and the low back. Alrighty. So child's pose just means you're putting your big toes together behind you, and you could sit on your heels, and you always have the option to take your knees wider if you feel maybe tightness in your low back and your hips, or closer if you prefer to kind of get into there more and release a little bit more. Come on down to your forehead, and you can rest it on the floor or your forearms. And let's breathe deeply here for a few minutes, just settling in. Find big inhales, big exhales. Big belly movement. Big rib cage movement. See if you could drag the breath out to be a little longer, a little more complete. And hopefully you feel this posture opening up after a few rounds of breath. Okay, in general, about 30 seconds is the general amount of time it takes for our bodies to just begin to relax. And everything after that is just yoga magic. We just move a little more softly. The muscles can lengthen without contracting so much. So as we lay here in child's pose, what we've done is we've magically erased the secondary curves in your spine. So all you have in your spine now is you have your sacral curve and you have your thoracic curve in your spine. And this is how you're born. This is what your spine looks like when you're born. That's why we call it child's pose. All right, as you learn to lift your head, right? Your parents put you on your belly and you learned to lift your head to look at the world. And then you got your first secondary curve, your cervical curve. And when you learned to crawl and scoot yourself around, you got your lumbar curve in your spine. But if we erase those for a moment, we can release any tension in the low back and the back of your neck. Continue to breathe here, inflating your rib cage and belly to the max, and then deflating them to the max. Think of inviting in as much fresh, clean air potential as possible. Maybe making a little extra space in your lungs each time. And then cleaning out your lungs completely. How often do you really clean all the air out of your lungs? Let this be a great opportunity to do that. Get all that old, stale air out. Allow your shoulder blades to kind of drip off your back down to the floor. Notice if you could soften in your face at all. Jaw, forehead. Notice where you're feeling this posture the most today. It might be different from the last time you did it. See if you could intentionally bring a bit of softness to the places that are still holding on. Maybe you feel your hip creases, okay? Maybe the low back. Maybe your shoulders. It's going to be different for all of us. Different on the day. Let's start to walk fingers forward. So start to walk your hands forward. Keep your hips low, grounding that tailbone. As you maybe come up on your fingertips here, lifting your palms, feeling a little bit of stretching, opening in your armpits and your chest. And we want to keep a long neck while we're doing this, okay? So keep the shoulder blades away from your ears. And I want to look under one armpit and look under the other armpit. And bringing in some very gentle rotation, some twisting and wringing out to your upper spine. Notice how this kind of rolls down through your upper back, maybe even to the middle of your spine. But it pretty much leaves your lower back untouched. So we're kind of isolating this. And let's bring this back towards center and ground your palms again. But keep that really grippy, strong hand. Okay, so tiger claw is what I like to call it. And then keeping yourself really low, like you're trying to skim unnoticed across the floor. Point your elbows down and think of using your hands to pull your heart forward. So think of staying low, elbows low, until your heart is hovering over your thumbs. Now, for more challenge, you're going to hover lower. For less challenge, you're going to hover higher. You decide, okay? With your exhale, hover back to your child's pose. And we'll do that a few more times. You're going to feel your upper body waking up big time. So inhale, skim low, hover forward, heart over thumbs. You're thinking of extending and arching your back. And then exhale, press it back to child's. Let's keep it going, okay? Inhale forward. Think of pointing the elbows back into your ribs. And exhale back. So just close your eyes here. Maybe you don't even really need to watch me do it. If you maybe saw me do it a few times, you can just close your eyes. Notice what's happening in your spine. As you're inhaling, you're pulling forward to an extension in your spine, an arched back. As you exhale, you're pressing back to flexion in your spine. As you move, could you keep your belly button strong, moving in towards your spine? And that's just going to keep your low back safe. And that's always something that we want to prioritize. We're always checking in, is the low back safe and strong and protected? Okay, now I just want to add one movement, and we'll just build a little bit of a flow here. We'll take it slow. So again, inhale forward. Okay, into your little hover, okay? And exhale, press the floor away. You're gonna round your spine, just like when we're doing a cat pose, like when we do cat-cows. Round your spine to look at your belly button and point your tailbone down, okay? And then again, inhale, drop your heart back where you were before, that hovering heart, that extended spine, elbows in. Exhale back to your child's. So we just added one new movement. And we'll do that again, okay? Inhale, hover heart forward. We can call this Chaturanga, okay? Exhale, push the floor away, round your spine, cat pose. Inhale, back down to Chaturanga, elbows in. Feel your upper body waking up. And exhale to your child's. So let's keep it going. It's okay if it doesn't look just like what I'm doing, or if you feel like it's a little different. Maybe you just kind of are making your own variation here. But notice what we're doing. We're extending and then flexing the spine, breath by breath. We're linking and yoking the breath to the movement. And you can also modify this. You can make it less challenging by not coming down so low, and more challenging by coming down lower. So you are in control. Notice the back body waking up, the front body. And let's do this maybe 3 more times, just like this little flow. Get a lot of good movement out of that neck, out of your arms. 2 more times. Keep the hands strong, okay? Keep them gripping and pushing down. 1 more time. Okay, next time you come back to your child's pose, just pause. Take a moment to notice in particular your arms. Your arms and shoulders, hopefully, probably are feeling a good bit warmer. Okay, we've built some great warmth in there. So from here, just walk your hands up by your knees, okay, back by your knees, and press yourself up to a seat. Okay, you can sit on your heels here if that's feeling pretty comfortable for you. I like to wake up and kind of stretch my feet open, so you can play around with that by tucking your toes and sitting on your heels. For some people, this is awful and excruciating, so don't feel like you have to do it, okay? But if you can stand it for a little while, it's really nice to open up the bottoms of your feet, and it's good for your ankles, good for your calves. So I'd say just do it as long as you can stand it, and then just untuck. Okay, so from sitting on your heels, however you've got your toes, look over your right shoulder. Put your right fingers on the floor behind you. Okay, now this can be on the right. If behind you feels like a stretch, it's not comfortable, just put your fingers on the right over there, okay? So fingers are grounded of that right hand. Go ahead and lift your hips up high, okay? As your hips come up, doesn't matter how high they go, could be just a little. You're gonna sweep that left arm up, take a big breath in. So you're opening up some space in the front of your body here. Feel that? And exhale to drop your hips and switch sides. So now you're grounding your left fingertips either on the left or a little bit behind you, lifting your hips as much as you like. You'll inhale, sweep the right arm up, and open up some big space on that right side and the front side. Exhale to come down. Now, can we just go side to side like this? Okay, inhaling up. Exhaling down. Make a little flow. Maybe close your eyes. Inhaling up. Exhaling down. What's great about yoga postures is you can really personalize them to where you are on the day and what kind of vibe you're looking for in your practice. You can make the movements bigger if you're looking for a more energetic, spacious vibe, or you can make the movements very small and subtle if you're just looking to stay chill and gentle. But hopefully you notice some space opening up along the front lines, the sides of your body. And we're feeling the back of the body strengthening, right? You're having to use your glutes to lift your hips. Maybe 3 more times side to side like this. Find that big inhale. That inhale is what's going to help you spread open that front body. 2 more times. Last one on each side. All right, friends, bring it on back to center. Go ahead and drop your hands here and come to hands and knees. Okay, tuck your toes, lift your hips up and back, and I'll meet you in a downward facing dog. So walk out your heels here. Okay, this is a very casual downward facing dog. Okay, so if this is not super comfortable for you, you are not alone. Okay, it's not the most comfortable posture for everyone. In that case, you can try bending your knees a lot more. See how that helps out. And you can always just drop to your knees. Most anything that we would do from a downward facing dog, you can also do from your hands and knees. So feel free to use that as an alternative at any time. Okay, we're not super warm in the legs. You might feel some resistance from your calves and your hamstrings. And we are going to very gently, gradually build some warmth, okay, before we really settle into this downward facing dog. So that being said, let's get a little bit warm. Inhaling here, move your heart forward, floating your shoulders over your hands. And we call this a plank. You can drop your knees in a plank or not. You can even just drop one knee, okay? Exhale and press it back to your downward facing dog. Inhale here, come up on your tippy toes. And exhale, hover your knees. See if you can just hover your knees or maybe just tap the ground. And we'll do that again. We're building a little flow. Inhale, knees come up. And exhale, heels come down. They don't have to come all the way down, okay? Inhale for this plank. And exhale for your down dog. Again, inhale, heels up. Exhale, knees come very low. See if you could just hover them. You might rest them on the floor if you need a break. Inhale, knees up. And exhale, heels down. Let's do that little thing one more time. Inhale for your plank. Exhale for your down dog. Inhale, heels up. Exhale, knees hover. Inhale, knees up. And exhale, heels down. All right, from here, put a nice bend in your knees and walk your hands back to your feet. Okay, bend the knees really generously. So super generous. Hang your head, shake it out. And rock side to side. Bending one knee more, bending the other knee more. Okay, so noticing the backs of your legs here. We probably got some tension in the hamstrings and the calves, and that's okay. We're just noticing that. I'm not trying to change anything just yet. Okay, and then you've been rocking side to side with your hands or at least your fingertips down in front of you. Try rocking into your toes and into your heels, forward and back. Notice how that feels. And then see if you could settle into a perfect balance, a perfect equilibrium of weight bearing between the front and the back of your foot. So somewhere in the center of your arch, and then maybe even thinking of sucking up your arch a little bit archier off the floor in each foot. Okay, we're going to come up. So keep your strong feet. Inhale, push into your heels and roll yourself up high. So reaching up. Lift your big heart. All right, as you exhale, drop your hips just as low as you want to go. It doesn't have to be super far. Bend your knees, dropping into a chair posture, Utkatasana. Nice and low, think of looking up. Inhale back up to standing. Lift your heart. Okay, right here, exhale, bend your elbows. Think of dropping your elbows, dropping your shoulder blades together down your back and lifting that heart. I call this a cactus. One more time. Inhale back up to standing, big heart. And exhale to hinge down at your hips. So maybe bend your knees to make this a little softer on the way down. Palms come down and hang your head. On your inhale, come halfway up. Look forward, unrolling your spine, maybe bending your knees. Then exhale, fold it all the way down. Okay, from here, palms are coming down. We'll inhale, walk the hands forward and find another plank. Okay, remember you can use your knees down in plank. With your exhale, press it back to a downward facing dog. So here we are back in down dog. We're still not super warm in the legs, but maybe they feel a little different. So pedal it out. Roll your shoulders here. And shake your head. I like to do a yes and a no. Okay, we're going to use some lunges to get the legs a little warmer. Here we go. Inhaling here, get your right leg up and out behind you. And when you lift that right leg, do your best to keep the right hip level with the left, okay? Try not to let it pop up. As you exhale here, pull that right knee forward. Think of pushing the floor away. See if you could drop that right foot between your hands. Okay, come on up. With your inhale, you're reaching up with your hands, and we're finding a crescent lunge. So let's take a moment here in crescent. I just want to remind you, if you're feeling tired and you need a break, maybe it feels like a little too much, just drop the left knee, okay? You can do just about anything from a low lunge, okay, instead of the crescent lunge. So in your crescent lunge, you're thinking of your back heel, your left heel, being balanced over your toes. And you think of the front knee, the right knee, being over your ankle. And both legs are pressing equally down into the floor. So I like to think of using just about 5 to 10% of your available leg strength. So you're not cranking it, you're not straining and pushing with all your might. You're just activating against the earth. And that's going to allow you a lot more spaciousness where it counts, okay? At the same time as you press down into your legs, think of also pulling them toward each other. So you're trying to snap your 2 feet together, and that's going to help you engage the hamstrings and the quads. Again, super helpful to allow the pose to be more effective. So let's move here, okay? So we can drop the back knee very close to the floor, and we can pick it up. It's challenging, okay? Drop the back knee and pick it up. And if you need a break, you can just drop the back knee and just rest, okay? And that's a wonderful place to be. But let's do this a few more rounds. Maybe hover the back knee and pick it up. And hover and pick it up. Maybe 3 more times. 3 and up. 2 and up. Last one, and up. Okay, nice. Exhale here, drop your hands around the front foot. We're gonna pause. Remember, you can take the back knee down at any time, okay? Inhaling here, get that right arm up. Big breath in, and hold. We'll stay in this little twisty lunge for a little while. So just breathe here with me. Find that long, slow breath. Notice how your legs are feeling. You can drop that. Okay, left knee at any time. If everything's feeling great, reactivate your legs against the floor. So you're pushing down. You're also trying to pull them toward each other, okay? Breathe deeply. Maybe you drop a little lower, lifting that back kneecap. One more big breath in. And we're letting this go on the exhale. So drop that right hand under your right shoulder. We're coming back up to a 3-leg dog with the right leg up in the air. So with your inhale, let's get the right leg up and out behind. Send it up in the air. as high as you like, but see if you can keep the right hip level with the left. With your exhale, drop that right foot, and we are back in a downward facing dog. Walk your hands back to your feet, bend those knees very generously. And let's just hang here for a moment. You might want to grab your elbows and just swing. Take some big breaths through your nose. Bend one knee, sway, sway to the other side. Rock your weight forward and back. See if you could do it without your hands this time. Notice if your legs are warming up, opening up a little bit more. And let's inhale to roll it up just like we did before. Inhale, stack yourself up nice and tall in your spine. Lift your heart. And exhale, drop it into a chair posture. Utkatasana, tailbone down, the knees move inward, your heart is looking up. Inhale back to standing. And here comes a cactus. Okay, exhale, drive your shoulder blades down your back as you lift your heart. Inhale back up to standing, lift. Now we'll fold, exhale, hinging at your hips all the way down. Halfway up for your inhale. And on your exhale, a very big fold. You can hug your legs here, okay? Palms are coming down now. Inhale and walk yourself forward to another plank. Exhale here, find a downward facing dog. And let's take some time here. Okay, start to press a little bit more into your hands. Start to pull back a little bit more on your feet. Okay, and a lot of times the limitation that we could feel in a downward facing dog might be in your hamstrings, okay, the back of your thigh. Check this out. This is some yoga magic right here. Try strengthening the front of your thigh and trying to lift your kneecaps towards your hips. Notice that allows you more space in the back of the thigh. Maybe your kneecaps or your heels can drop a little more low. Okay, maybe not, but just do some experimentation and think of pulling those elbows inward. So let's get to the left side now. We'll do the same thing on the other side. Inhaling here, get your left leg up and out behind. Keep the hips level. As you exhale, swing that left knee forward. Push the floor. Make a big space for that leg to come through and maybe drop it between your hands. And it's okay if it doesn't happen the first time, okay? Coming up to your crescent lunge. On the inhale, arms up, and we're up, okay? So remember, we can just drop the back knee, and we can take it more easy in a low lunge at any time, okay? Always acceptable. But because one of our purposes today is waking up and flexibility, okay, we're gonna warm up the legs. So let's drop the right knee so it hovers off the floor, and pick it up. So as you're moving, keep strengthening the legs down into the floor. You're always pushing down into all your legs. And you're always trying to drag the feet toward each other. So I like that feeling of pushing out through the bones and pulling back through the muscles. And if you notice yourself leaning forward, try to keep your upper body balanced over your hips. Notice the legs. It's challenging. And that's okay. You can take a break. Okay. Maybe one more, just like this. And then as you exhale, we're going to let it go. Go ahead and drop your hands on either side of that left foot. Okay, we'll take a twist from here. So feel free to drop the right knee if you need a little break. We're going to reach up with the left hand and breathe. Let's hold it here. Big spaciousness in that left side of your chest, okay? Make sure the bottom elbow is also soft. It's not locking. In general, we don't ever want to lock our joints in a yoga class. If you're feeling pretty good, strengthen those legs into the floor, push down, try to pull them together, and see if you can lift that right kneecap a little higher. One more big breath in here, yogis. And we're letting it go on the exhale. Drop the left hand under your left shoulder. We're coming up to a 3-leg dog with the left leg in the air. So inhale, left leg high as you like. Send it up there. But make sure the left hip is level with the right. And exhale, that left foot comes down. We're back in a downward facing dog. Okay, from here, again, bend your knees, walk your hands back to your feet. Okay, this time, if you want to put some generous bending and hang your head nice and heavy, maybe you even want to join your hands behind your back here and get a nice stretch in the front of your shoulders. Okay, you can move your hands away from you. You can also grab your elbows. You have different options. Okay, you sway side to side at first, and maybe you start to sway forward and back without using your hands, just strengthening those feet. All right, we're gonna roll it up. So find some strong feet. Inhale and come on up. And all the way up. Exhale here, down into that same chair squat. So drop your hips, pull the knees inward and look up. Maybe you go a little lower this time. Inhale to stand. Exhale, cactus arms. Pull the shoulder blades down as you look up. Inhale, back up. Exhale, fold it down. Coming halfway up on your inhale with your longest spine. Make a big fold on your exhale. And let's take a moment in this fold, okay? Maybe even walk your feet a little closer together. And I'm just going to give you some options to play around with here. So we've gotten the backs of the legs nice and warm. We've gotten the front nice and warm. So you can always bend the knees more or less. But you might decide to just hold your calves. You can put one hand on each calf and just hug your legs. Allow your head to really hang, okay? Just let it go. There's nothing to see. Shake it out. This might be quite enough. Some of you would like to grab your elbows behind your legs, and you can kind of slide your elbows down. You can even bring them all the way down to your ankles if you like. Breathe into your low back, the backs of your shoulders. Okay, I'm going to give you another option. It's just kind of some funky options we can run through. I like funky options. If you're feeling pretty good about touching your feet, okay, if that's not fun, then don't feel like you have to force it. You can pick up your feet and slide your hands underneath them. So like you're stepping on your palm and your toes tickle your wrist. You can do 1 or 2. Okay, playing around with this feeling. Okay, and then from here, if you like, if this is feeling pretty fun, you can experiment with lifting one heel and then rocking back into the heel. You can actually pick up your foot. Now lift the heel, putting weight in your palm. You're stepping on your own palm. And then rock into the heel, pick up your foot. So play like that, side to side. Rock the weight forward, rock the weight back. Rock the weight forward, rock it back. So I'm opening up some extra space in the backs of your legs, the back of your body. Maybe as just one final fun option, you put both tippy toes into each palm and you can balance and stand on your palm, okay? And that might happen today, it might happen another lifetime, but it's fun to know that that option is out there, okay? Wherever you are, one more big breath in. And we'll let it go. Go ahead and get your palms back on the floor. Walk your hands forward and come to hands and knees. Come on down. Okay, if you sit your hips to one side, we're all set up for a comfy seat. So find your favorite comfy seat, whatever it is, okay? Okay, I'll suggest, if you're not sure what comfy seat you want, in yoga we call this Sukhasana. Okay, it means easy pose. Your ankles are under your, close to your knees. You're crossing at your shins. Okay, you might call it just a crisscross applesauce. That's what my son calls it. Okay, so nice and long in your spine. And just sit up nice and easy here, rocking equal weight into both hips. Okay, and by the way, if this doesn't feel super easy and you want to loosen it up a little bit, you can always try sitting on a pillow, just putting a pillow under your hips, or even your sweater or a blanket. Something to lift your hips by an inch or two will make a big difference. Let your hands rest on your legs. And allow yourself to just settle in. Okay, put a little point down in your tailbone so it's pointing straight down. The belly button pulls in just a little so your core has a little bit of engagement to lift your low back up and out of your hips. Center that rib cage over your hips and drop the shoulder blades down your back. And feel your big, proud, open chest. Okay, breathe deeply into that space. Put a little tuck in your chin, maybe. And feel the top of your head rising up, away from your tailbone. And from this nice long spine, we can start to twist and just realign the spine after all the things that we did with it. So inhaling here, get your arms up. As your hands come up, make sure your shoulder blades go down. Exhaling, look over to the left, okay? Twist to the left, looking over that left shoulder. Let your right hand come to your left knee, and your left fingers tap the floor behind you. And we'll come back up through center on the inhale. Big breath in. And exhale, twist to the right. Left fingers to right knee, right fingers behind. Look over the right shoulder. Inhale back up to center. And exhale to the other side. And let's take a few more breaths like this. Just nice and easy. Close your eyes. See if you could feel in your mind body map. Feel your rib cage twisting around your spine. And feel that rotation of the spine from the low back all the way up to the base of your skull. Notice the role that your breath plays. Okay, exhaling as you twist. Inhaling through center. And next time you come out to the left, let's pause there and just breathe there for a little while. So root down through your tailbone, lift up through your top of your head. Okay, your right hand can use the left knee more or less to deepen your twist, so you decide what you want from that. Okay, find a big chest on your inhales. And find strong belly muscles driving inward on your exhales. Maybe take 3 or 4 more long, slow breaths here. And the reason I'm always asking you guys to use your strong belly muscles on the exhales is if we can build a lot of strength and tone around the middle of your body, that's going to keep your low back very safe and very supported through all of the events of your daily life. Maybe one more breath here. Right as you inhale, just bring yourself through center. And then exhale to look over to the right. So going to the other side. Pause here. You can use the right knee more or less. It's up to you. Big chest. Strong belly. Maybe one more breath here, yogis. Bring it on back to center on your inhale. Okay, and exhale here. Just bring your hands down in front. And you can rest your hands on your lap. Sometimes it's nice to rest one hand in the other, hands on your knees. Just find a place to rest here. And this is where we'll end our practice. Just taking a moment to be still. So find that you can let go of any extraneous effort or sense of doing here. And take a little time to observe the moment passing. Observe sensations and thoughts. Find that you can release any remaining tension in your body, your jaw, your shoulders. All right, friends, so this is where you want to stay for as long as you can, just resting and letting your body soak up the yoga magic. Okay, thanks so much for joining me. This is where I'll leave you today.